Hello and welcome to Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports news from around the region and beyond. I'm Josiah Dinwiddie, filling in for Braden Parks.
We'll also look at the NBA and college basketball. I'm Morgan Pagel, and this is Sports Update on EUTV.
Well, Morgan, we got some awesome sports news, some sports highlights and stuff coming up. What can we look forward to today?
Well, we definitely had a very eventful weekend for sports, starting with EU men's basketball. A career night from Clark Brewington helped the Evangel men's basketball team hold off Culver Stockton 92-86 Saturday afternoon. Brewington erupted with 21 second-half points, including 5 three-pointers in the final 20 minutes to help the Crusaders get back to .500 in the conference standings. Brewington finished the day with 9 three-pointers, one shy of the school record, single-game record, and a career-high 35 points. Evangel and Culver Stockton both shot 57% from the field in the second half. Evangel continues home action this Wednesday against Mid-America Nazarene. Tip-off is scheduled for 7:30 p.m.
The Lady Crusaders secured a second-half victory on Saturday to improve their conference record to 12-7. Culver Stockton had a 4-point lead going into halftime, but following the break, Evangel went on a 13-3 run in the third quarter. Many factors helped the Crusaders, but Lexi Vought's 16-point triple-double helped change the tide of the game. Evangel continued their defensive excellence by forcing 19 turnovers and held the Wildcats to a 27% shooting percentage, the final score being 89-75 Evangel.
Evangel University Track and Field took aim at the Pittsburgh State Gorilla Indoor Classic as the final tune-up before the Hart Conference Championships on March 5th through 6th. Junior Shane Burns highlighted the day, improving on his NAIA B mark in the mile by nearly 2 seconds. The time also improved his school record in the mile as well. On the women's side, Emily Standage broke her own school record in the 800 meters, while the women's 4x400 broke a 22-year-old record in the relay event. Evangel enters Conference Championships Week as it will head to the 2020 Hart Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships in Maryville, Missouri. The 2-day event gets underway Friday, February 21st and ends Saturday, February 22nd.
The baseball team canceled their series in Salina, Kansas due to heavy snow across the region. Initially, it was postponed, but as the weather continued to worsen, the series against Kansas Wesleyan will not be made up. And with that, why don't we go ahead and toss it to Sarah with this week's Athlete of the Week. Sarah?
All right, thanks, guys. For this week's Athlete of the Week, we have men's basketball player Clark Brewington. Clark is a senior at Evangel and has worked his way to the top. Clark has been a big asset to the team this season. He has been named Heart of America Athletic Conference Player of the Week and Jimmy John's Student Athlete of the Month. Clark averages 12.5 points per game, shooting at 48% from the field and a 47% from the three-point line. He's a very dependable player, shooting at 94% from the free throw line. Clark is also a major threat from the three-point line. This past Saturday, he has helped his team pass Culver Stockton, having 9 three-pointers and a career high of 35 points in one game. 21 of his points came in the second half, really helping the team pull away. Clark is from Pocahontas, Arkansas, and has decided to major in sports management with a coaching minor. When Clark isn't on the court, Clark spends his time fishing, hanging with friends, and trying new places to eat. Make sure to catch a home game before the season's over and see Clark doing his thing from behind the three-point line. And I'll be back in just a moment with more on upcoming games for this week. Now back to the anchors.
Thanks, Sarah, and congrats to Clark. And speaking of Clark, man, he absolutely went off. I had the pleasure to go watch him live on Saturday in person, and man, he was just unbelievable. Tell me, what were some of your thoughts on his performance?
Well, first of all, what a weekend. Clark's improvement from his previous game to this game is mind-blowing. For him to break these records versus having a low amount of points in the previous game is truly amazing for Clark, especially in his senior season.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I was definitely able to see him switch the gear and take it to the next level. It was really cool to see, especially cheering on for him in the student section. It was really cool. And I also want to mention Lexi Vaught. She got a triple-double in her game. I mean, that's something that you tell your grandkids about when you're old and gray, man. A triple-double is such a big deal.
Yes.
It's incredible. Yep. Well, up next, we will be talking to a member of the Lady Crusader basketball team.
We'll be right back.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
I am here with the Evangel women's basketball guard, Sadie Chisholm. Thank you so much for being here today, Sadie.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. So first of all, I want to know, how did you even get started with playing basketball?
Well, I started playing in 2nd grade, and from there I got on several different teams. I got on some AAU teams, and I just kept progressing.
That's amazing. So what has stuck out to you about Evangel's basketball team?
I absolutely love the camaraderie that all the girls had whenever I first came on my visit, and like nothing has changed since I've gotten here. Everybody's just very down to earth and just easy to talk to, and we all get along really well.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that the defense has really improved within these last few games. What do you think has contributed to that?
Well, I know at the beginning of season, we noticed that we weren't getting it done on the defensive end, and so in practice, the coaches focused a lot more on defense, and we took a lot more time out of our practice to just focus on defense.
Looking into the rest of the season, what is the team working on?
Well, I mean, obviously our ultimate goal is to make it to nationals, and we're still working on our defense, we're working on our offense, and just putting a whole entire game together, and not just one quarter. We want the whole game to come together.
What are some goals for the remainder of the team for the season?
The nationals, and our first goal is just to make it into conference tournament. Only a certain amount of teams make it into that tournament, and so we're just trying to take it one game at a time and just do what we know how to do.
Yeah. So Sadie, I'm interested into knowing what brought you to Evangel in the first place.
Well, first of all, it's close to home. I wanted to stay close to my family, and my sister just goes to school at Missouri State, which is right down the road. So I got that family aspect, but also I wanted to further my relationship with the Lord. So that was huge to me, and they got new coaches here, and they were awesome. I love the coaches here, and I knew some of the girls on the team, and I played with them a little bit before, so just really a lot of factors. Everything just fell into place perfectly coming here.
So you're obviously the point guard as a freshman. So how do you think pre-college that helped you get to where you are now?
Well, I'd say all those hours of work and like I would miss out on stuff whenever I was younger because I was practicing basketball. I was very faithful with it. And so it really just paid off in the end. And so I love being the point guard here. It's awesome.
Have you found it challenging to balance, a full-time schedule and also being a full-time athlete?
I'd say I had I had a harder time with it last semester than I did this semester, but now I've kind of adapted and I switched majors and I've really found one that I love, and so that makes a big difference too.
So what is your major? What did you switch to?
I switched from allied health, which I loved it, very interesting, but I switched to communication major and it's been great so far.
Do you have any idea what you want to do long term?
I really don't. I just know that I want to help people through communications. I don't know how that's going to come about though.
I just love your heart. It's so pure and so kind.
Thank you.
Do you see yourself incorporating basketball at all post-college?
I would love to do that. I could see it going either way. I could see myself maybe coaching a younger team, but I don't think that really has anything to do with my communications route either. But I could see basketball in my future as well.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Sadie. Coming up, we will be reviewing college basketball, NBA, and what is upcoming for Evangel Sports. Stay tuned.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Formerly 5th-ranked Louisville Cardinals were upset on Saturday by the unranked Clemson Tigers. The Cardinals began last week ranked 3rd in the nation, but are expected to have a harsh fall-off after 2 shocking losses since Wednesday. Much of the issue derives from a lack of performance from Louisville star Jordan Nwora. Nwora scored just 5 points in 30 minutes on Saturday. To make matters worse, he is recording increasingly large numbers with fouls and turnovers. With the Cardinals' back-to-back losses, Duke finds itself in a position to win the ACC for the first time since 2009. The final score was 77-62, Clemson.
The Missouri Tigers pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the SEC basketball season thus far, taking down Auburn 85-73 on Saturday evening. It was a big win for Kwanzaa Martin's squad, with guards Drew Smith and Xavier Pinson each scoring 28 points in the victory. Mizzou improved to 12-13 overall and 4-8 in SEC play. The Tigers still have a long way to go to get back to the level of competing for an NCAA tournament berth, but they could pull off an upset in the SEC tournament.
Well, that's really good news. Hearing from the Mizzou Tigers doing a lot better now. What are you thinking?
I think it's impressive. I think hopefully they can keep on improving, because if they have the opportunity to create a large upset in the SEC tournament, I think they absolutely have to go for that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's definitely going to create a ton of buzz around the area with us being Missouri. It's just going to bring everyone's moods up. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. On Thursday, the Celtics were trailing 124-124 in the final minute of overtime in their back-and-forth slugfest with the Clippers, and Tatum found himself defended by Landry Shamet and Montrezl Harrell. Tatum hesitated, sidestepped Shamet, and then spun around Harrell for a layup. As the crowd cheered around him, Tatum let out a loud yell, flexing his arms. The play didn't win the game and gave Tatum just 2 of the 39 points he scored in Boston's thrilling 141-133 double overtime win on Thursday night. The Celtics have won 7 straight at home and 8 of their last 9 overall.
NBA fans got their first taste of the new structure of the new All-Star game on Sunday. Each team competed to win quarters rather than games. And on top of that, the game ended not after the final time ran out, but in street ball style, as each team had to score 24 points to win in the fourth quarter. The late Kobe Bryant was a major theme throughout the All-Star weekend, as the new structure was invented to honor him. Team LeBron won the first quarter, and Team Giannis won the second. However, both teams would tie for the third quarter. After some of the best play for both teams surfaced in the cutthroat final round, Team LeBron was able to secure the victory for the third straight year. Final score, 157-155, Team LeBron. Now, I don't know about you, but I just love watching the All-Star game, especially this year. It was just, I don't know, it was just something about it, like remembering Kobe and just like the intensity of the game. It was just like, it was an amazing All-Star experience. I truly enjoyed it. Yeah.
It absolutely was, and especially also the Celtics' victory against the Clippers. It just was really a great weekend for sports.
Yes, definitely. So let's go ahead and check out some of what's coming up for Crusader Sports. Sarah?
All right, thanks, guys. This week we have a lot of different events going on, starting with men's and women's basketball. The two teams will play at home Wednesday, February 19th against Mid-American Nazarene. The ladies will tip off at 5:30 and the men's following at 7:30. This game day will be a little different than the usual because it's Weller Elementary night. The students of Weller will be there rooting on the Crusaders and will have a special performance for the crowd to enjoy, so make sure to come out and watch. The Crusaders will then head to Des Moines, Iowa on Saturday, February 22nd. Both teams will take on Grandview University, women's game starting at 12 and the men's following at 2. The baseball team will then head to College of the Ozarks this Tuesday to take on the Bobcats, games at 12 and 2. Then this Friday and Saturday, the team will be at their own field going against Lincoln University. Games will be at 12 and 2 both days. On Tuesday, the softball team will be at home playing a doubleheader against Ottawa University, games at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Then this weekend, the softball team has the Queen City Bash Tournament at Cooper Complex here in Springfield. On Friday, the team will play at 1 o'clock against Columbia College, and then again at 5 against Friends University. Saturday, the team will be back at it playing 3 games. The first game starting at 12 o'clock against Midland University, then at 2 against McPherson College, and the last game will be at 4, going up against Lindenwood Belleville University. Lastly, this Friday and Saturday, the men's and women's track team will head to Maryville, Missouri to compete in the 2020 Hart Indoor Championships. Good luck to all the teams competing this week, and come back next week to hear more on EU sports. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Sarah, and good luck to all those competing.
Well, that's all the time we have for Sports Update. I'm Josiah Dinwiddie.
And I'm Morgan Pagel. Be sure to join us next week as we bring you the latest in sports news. This has been Sports Update on EU TV.